A popular notion today is that the Christian church has held science captive. If we want scientific knowledge to progress, then we need to get religion out of the picture. As proof of this claim, many will cite as evidence, and falsely I might add, that during the Middle Ages, the average person believed and the church taught that the earth was flat. But is this true? Did the church teach that the earth was flat? Was religion holding science captive? Hello, I'm Jerry Johnson, and I welcome you to this edition of Against the World. To answer the question simply, no. The church nor the Bible ever taught that the earth was flat. So why do so many today point to this as proof that the church had a stranglehold on science, retarding its growth for nearly a millennia? Well, enter in an unscrupulous writer by the name of Andrew White and his book, The Warfare of Science with Theology. Throughout this book, White claims that this is a fact. But if you take the time to read through his work and pay attention to what he begrudgingly admits, you quickly realize that this book is sheer fiction. For example, in chapter 2, the author has to admit that the fathers and great doctors of the church, including such notables as Clement, Origen, Ambrose, Augustine, Isidore, Albertus Magnus, and Aquinas all believed and accepted that the earth was a globe, a sphere, and not flat. That there may have been a few folks on the fringes of society who taught this, I do not dispute, but it was not the majority report. Andrew White and his book are the quintessential example of the logical fallacy known as the hasty generalization. He takes the ranting of a few and then broadly applies it to the whole. Comus Nicodeplitus was one such man on the fringes. He was a merchant traveler during the 6th century who retired to become a monk in the Egyptian desert. He was not even an Orthodox Christian, but actually embraced a heretical form of Christianity known as Nestorianism. At the end of his travels, he wrote a treatise on Christian typology that included his flat earth cosmology. It was widely ignored at the time, and Christian scholars like John Philoponus derided it as the work of an uneducated fool. And the book? Well, it was quickly forgotten. In fact, I could not find one instance of his work being quoted favorably or unfavorably in the West prior to the 18th century. Why? Because the book was written in Greek and was therefore unavailable and unknown in the Latin West, contrary to Andrew White's insinuation that it was authoritative. It wasn't until 1776 that the book was finally published in the West. Really, the book had no influence in the Christian church or the culture at large. But this fact doesn't stop White and others who claim that its influence was universal. Hear me on this. The Christian church has always understood and believed that the earth was round, citing the Bible as proof. For example, Proverbs 8:27, when he prepared the heavens, I was there, when he drew a circle on the face of the deep. Job 26:10, he drew a circular horizon on the face of the waters, at the boundary of light and darkness. Isaiah 40:22, it is he, meaning God, who sits above the circle of the earth. By the way, Matthew Poole, who died in 1679, Matthew Henry, who died in 1714, and John Gill, who died in 1771, every one of these men taught the earth was a globe and not flat based upon the previous scriptures I just read. So was there a debate about the earth? Yes. Was it over its shape? No. The real debate was on the size of the globe. Remember, Columbus didn't know the North American continent was in his way as he set sail for the West Indies. So where did this myth come from? Well, according to Jeffrey Burton Russell of the University of California, in his book, Inventing the Flat Earth, he documents that 19th century anti-Christians invented and spread the falsehood that people in the Middle Ages, reinforced by church dogma, believed that the earth was flat. Interestingly, Russell examined a large selection of textbooks and found those written before 1870 usually included the correct account that people in general, and the Christian church in particular, believed the earth was round. However, the textbooks written after 1880 uncritically repeated the erroneous claims of such men as Andrew White. Russell concludes that men like White were the main culprits responsible for introducing the myth that until science set the record straight, people believed the earth was flat. Sadly, those whose only goal in life is to make a mockery of Christ and His church continue to propagate this historical inaccuracy, perhaps better stated lie, maintaining that ignorant Christians were and continue to suppress rational knowledge about the world. What's the old saying, my friends? Repeat a lie often enough and people will believe it's the truth? No doubt that's what's been going on since Andrew White wrote his book. Until next time, this is Jerry Johnson standing contra mundum against the world.